도경이 부회장 나올 때 박수가 더
I think
컸던 것 같아요.
it was a bigger hand for her than me.
제가 가진 거 다 이렇게
Actually, I'm giving everything to my compassion children.
집사람한테 좀
And
그래가지고 살려고 그랬더니
I try to
우리 집사람이 또 다 내놓으니까
lean on my wife, but my wife is also giving out everything. So I am thinking, like, whom should I lean on? I think the God.
오랜만에 이제 1박
I can
2일로
lean on
Success
the God.
Academy를 진행하게
So
되었습니다.
we are having this 2-day Success Academy.
코로나에
Because of COVID-19, we were having 1-day seminar, and we are recovering from COVID-19, and we are coming back to the normal. We have our products, cosmetics. So Executive Director Han-gil introduced our history for the cosmetics, right? You can get a lot of trust, right? The product worth a lot of money, and I know it deserves a lot of high price, but because we are pursuing absolute price, absolute quality, we have lowered the price. Actually, at first, when we try to set the price with Koma, it is not a very smooth discussion. They didn't accept accept the price right away. But for about more than 1 decade, I worked for the vehicle parts manufacturing in the vehicle industry. It has a very tight standard for part cost. It has about 20,000 or 40,000 parts in one car. And when the cost goes up just a little bit, the entire price for the car can go up. So we try to lower the price very tightly. For example, when we manufacture a part and we have to negotiate the price with the OEM company. Of course, we get some materials, like they get the materials. Okay, this is the price that you want, and they come to our factory. And for example, they weigh all the materials, and they also take a look at the cost per gram, like that for import, and for the personal expenses, they also get the second and hours for the working hours, and that they are that tight to manage the cost. So I am very used to this tight management for cost. And in the cosmetic industry, things are very different. And I could feel that it is very generous. The industry is very generous, and I want to go tight. When we first met each other, I told them, tell me why the cosmetics should be more expensive than fruit juice. And it is from plants, and because fruit juice is also from fruit, and I believe they are the same. They have the same origins, and they say the ingredients are from something Yosemite trees. And I told them, then we can plant a lot of trees because we have a lot of land.
그렇게 이제 어떻게 보면 좀 그쪽에서 봤을 때는
And
무식하다시피.
actually,
화장품에 대해서
for them,
무식했던 건 아니에요.
I was too
제가
much,
17년 하는
too
가운데
tight.
제가 화장품
And I don't really understand. They might thought that I
공시로
didn't really understand cosmetics, but I actually didn't. I once worked for a cosmetic factory,
그 제가 확 팔아 제끼니까
and I increased the sales, and the factory couldn't speed up the speed.
저보다는 대학 한 4년
Cannot follow the speed.
선배님이 화공과 나온 선배님이 앉아 계시는데
And I visited another factory,
관리 개념이 없는 거예요.
and I could
연구소
see
소장을 하기에 딱 맞는 분.
that
그래서 제가 선배님
one of my friends was there,
지금부터
and
공장을
he is
총괄
actually
지휘를
a researcher,
합니다.
and he don't know about how to manage the factory. So I took the position and I analyzed the factory, and I
뭐 때문에 공장이 안 돌아가는가
told
했더니
the
화장품
sales manager,
용기에 뚜껑 하나 없어서
and
세워놓고
I found that the cap, it was out of caps. The factory was out of caps. That was why the production was not being done. And he said 2 days later. And I was like this. Of course, I didn't beat him. I was trying to beat him. I tried to beat him.
앞으로 내가 몇 초 단위로 내가 몇 분 단위로 보고하라고는 안 하겠지만은
I told him,
단위로 보고를 해. 알았어?
report everything to me for every hour.
네가 왜 여기 있어?
The part is, you are out of this part, but now you are still here. That's the right thing. You should go to the cap manufacturing factory. And
장악을 해가지고 모든
you
공장
should
지금부터 그 공장에 가서 네가 공장장을 해. 알았어?
be the owner of that cap manufacturing factory. Because when I worked for the car manufacturing, car part manufacturing factory, I believe every client should be the owner of the factory of the partnering company. So you should understand everything, and you should understand like financial status of your partner company. So you should understand everything. That is what I learned for the 15 years in my career. So I could see all the process for the cost management. And I mainly worked on sales, but I also did a QA work as well. ISO 9001, when it was introduced, I worked on it. It is not tighter, like as tighter as it used to be. That's because our technology has advanced, but actually it has changed, and I worked on those introduction, the standard introduction. So I worked on sales, quality control, and I also worked on the manufacturing technology. It is about design, it is about the machine installation. For example, in Germany, there is a crew. It's an elevator company. During the Second World the company manufactured a big tank engines for trains and ships. And the company is also part of the big company. And they had a Chinese team, and I was from Korea there. And I saw they have a different attitude to the Chinese team. They have the higher position personnel for the Chinese team than me. And they told me because Chinese team are paying 3 times more for the same machine. So I asked why. I would come on the I should climb the machine, and you need the ladder, right? And we can actually manufacture the ladder in Korea. So I try to reduce all the costs. But the Chinese team was different. They would buy everything, like leathers. So Korea would buy some essential things, only buy essential things. The cost used to be about 2.3 billion Korean won. Then I said we cannot buy this one. We can skip this. We can skip this. Like plastic for engineering. The plastic can absorb the moisture, and when it gets high temperature, when it is like 230 degrees Celsius, then the moisture inside it would become a vapor and becomes a bubble that can create some problems. So you need some dry area heater. And I said that part can be manufactured in Korea. And they say you can't. And I said I can. How did I created it? When I visited Germany, there were some people who came to Germany before me. They are from Japan. And I said, they asked them to bring a camera, and they recorded everything to copy those machines. So for Koreans, and they put the post, you're not allowed to take pictures. But I took the pictures with my eyes, like the motors. I try to remember all the motors. So, but I could not take a memo in front of them. So I visited the toilet very frequently. All the specifications, I try to remember them, and then took the memos. And before getting the machine body, I created the dryer system. And they asked, how did you do that? How? And he said, you cannot do that, but I did. So the cost used to be about 2.2 billion Korean won. But I lowered the cost to $1.8 billion, 8 billion Korean won, and we had to buy 2 more machines.
그래서 이제
So
그 가격을 좀 깎아달라고 그랬더니
we are trying to
이 친구가 안
get some
깎아줘.
discounts, and the person
그래서
was not giving the
제가
discount to
그때
us.
옆에 오스트리아에
And
또 기계 회사가 하나 있었어요.
there was a
그런데
company
그거는
in
그 기계는
Australia,
문제가
another
좀
company.
있어, 내가
Actually,
봤을
that
때.
machine, I
그러니까
believe,
그
had
기계를
some
안 샀어.
problems, so I didn't
근데
buy that
가격은 싸.
machine, but that machine is
그래서
cheaper.
독일 기계를 2대를 사와 가지고
So I bought two
이제
German
우리가
machines,
또 2대 더 사니까 가격을
and
좀 더 깎아줘.
I
그랬더니
was telling
이
them,
친구가 안 깎아줘.
we are buying two
지금도
more,
내가
so
이름을
give
기억하고
me
있어요.
the
폴
discounts.
이
And I
친구가
still remember the
도저히
manager,
안 깎아줘.
Poon Kirsten,
그래가지고
that was his
그때 뭐
name,
마르크 쓰던
and he didn't give
시절인데
us
하여간 요
the
끝자리
discounts.
3개라도 내가 이거
And
제로로 좀 만들자. 그게 우리로 치면 한 571마르크인가 그랬어.
I try
근데 이
to
친구가 내
reduce the
지금도 귀에
cost.
생생해. 요거를 제로로 571마르크 깎아달라고 그랬는데 요 맨 밑에
I try to get only a small discount, but he gave us a very, very small discount.
홍질이 나가지고.
I was upset.
그래가지고 이게 이 정도 기계면 얼마 정도 남겠다는 것은 저도 이제 대충 감이
Because I know
잡히니까
how much profit they would get,
깎아줘도 되는 거예요.
and I knew that they can give us
그리고
at
옆에
least
가면은
20% of
한
discount,
30%
but
정도 싼 오스트리아
the
기계가
German
있어.
machine
그
is
백훈이라고 하는
very
기계인데.
good,
근데 그
and the
기계는
Australia
문제가 있어.
one is
그래서
about 30% cheaper, but still have some
한국의
problems.
기계가 독일 기계가 도착한 다음에
When after getting the
그
machine from
기계를
Germany,
설계실을 시켜가지고 다 도면으로 만들었어.
we created
그리고 들고 어디를 갔느냐?
the
오스트리아를 갔어.
floor plan from the machine, and we visited the Austria,
있는 거 알고 있지. 내가 전에
and
지적을
we
했지.
told them, you have some problems,
내가
your
고쳐줄게.
machine has some
내가
problems, these
기계
problems.
설계 도면을 새로 가져왔어.
This is the floor plan
이대로
for your machine. You
그랬더니
can fix your machines based on this floor
너
plan.
어떡해?
And they were so
이
surprised
도면을
to see the
그릴
floor
수가
plan.
있냐고.
They asked
얘기는 안 했지,
me, how did you
어떻든
get this?
그렇게 해가지고 이제 그 오스트리아 기계를 독일 기계 수준으로 싹 개조를
So,
해가지고
we got to upgrade the Austria
가격을 내고를 했죠.
machine.
18억짜리 기계를 11억까지 내고를 한 거예요.
We got the price of
그
1.1 billion Korean
발주가
won.
나갔다는 소문이 이제 폰 키르스텐한테 들어간 거야.
And Poon Kirsten got the news, and his boss, named Moss, the director, flew to Korea at night. And they came to me,
그때 이름이 한스박이었어요.
and I was
한스박.
Hans Bach fan. To me, they said, you know that the vacuum machine, the Australian machine, got a lot of problems. How come you could use that one? And they said, you knew that. So I said, yes, I knew. But I said, I don't need to use your machine. So at the end, they said, only one machine, not two machines, only one. If you want to make a mistake, please make this one. So I said, no need. I made an order already, and I will be using that. So I just said that it's okay, don't worry, and I sent them back. Anyways, since then I converted the new machine, and their new machine worked really well. And also that the new machine got its own patents. So I negotiated that machine with 1.1 billion Korean won. And I said, it is 1.8 billion, and how much discount could you provide? I like your product. I like your product. And the problem is the cost. And how much discount? And they said, okay, it is 1.3 billion. See, their margin is over 500 million Korean won, but they didn't make a discount at least 571 mark. So I said that, okay, next time I will buy your product, but next time it will be 1.3 billion Korean won, okay? Like this. Because Australian machine and German machine have their own strength. So as a manager of the manufacturing, I designed the manufacturing line, and I also done on the automation. I'm now working on the cosmetic industry, but why I am talking about it? Let me tell you. I made this kind of car component, and I also did some quality control. And with all of the know-how, I visited the cosmetic factories, and I found a lot. I found a lot of loopholes. When I came to the factory at first, I could see how organized it was and how so I checked a lot of things from the arrangement and the cleans and the safety, and I could also guess its error rate. If I see the design of the manufacturing line, and if I see how organized it is, and if I see the containers and the safety and so on, I could calculate the rate of their quality control. When I visited the cosmetic factory at first, I could see a lot of things and I could check it. And I used to be a owner of the cosmetic factory. Back then, I worked with Kim Chi-bong, CEO, and I asked when I want to use a foam cleanser, if I use this vacuum machine, how much hours do we need to use it to make a foam? So for a better understanding, let me say, we need to put all of the ingredients into this chamber, and then we need to mix it with the acetator with the proper temperature. And then at the bottom there is an impeller, and there's a high pressure spraying system. And then the ingredients are being mixed. In that container, there are mixing blades and a lot of components, and all of these components are in my mind. But when normal people visit that factory, the only thing they saw is the outer package and outer container. But I knew the interior and the inner components of that machine because I ran a company before. I ran a factory before. So we need to put the ingredient first, and we need to mix them. And then since it's a foam cleanser, there might be a lot of foam in the container. Most of the low quality companies put that into the tube with the foam on it, and then they put it into the basket and at a low price, and they sell the product at a low price in the online shopping mall. In that tube, the ingredients are filled well, but when you squeeze it, the foams are all filled. The foams are filling the container. So when you squeeze a small amount like this toothpaste amount, if you push it, the foam will be generated, and then nothing will left on your hand. So what should we do? If there is a foam in the container, we need to put the vacuum, and we need to remove the foam from the container, and it takes about 48 hours. So I asked it to Kim Chi-bong, the CEO of that factory, and he was shocked. You are a CEO of a distribution company, but how come do you know that? How come do you know that the vacuums and the foams and this kind of process? How come do you know that kind of process? So I said, please explain me that why it should be expensive than the juice. At first, hemohim cost 770,000 Korean won. So I said, all of these ingredients are the roots, and these are the extract of the roots, and how come it could be so much expensive? Let's sell it at 1/10 of the price. They said it has a lot of herbal ingredients, and it had a lot of traditional medicine ingredients. But I replied, let's say that if we need to raise angelica leaves and radish, which one is difficult? Actually, the process itself are the same. So, because if you want to grow angelica leaf, just put the root in it and grow it for 2 years or 3 years. So it is really simple. Of course, it is really easy. It doesn't need any herbicide because it stinks. So a lot of pests don't like it. I mean, it is really easy to grow the angelica, that herbal ingredient. So why come? How come? It could be so much expensive. Making growing this herbal plants is really easy. So let me say that which one is difficult, to grow an angelica leaf and to grow a radish. And they said actually angelica leaf is better. So I said then the price need to be down. It is only about making the extract of the roots and mixing the ingredients together.
무식해갖고 이렇게 얘기하면 안 돼. 그런데 예를 들면
If you
그 해모힘을 추출하는
If I was ignorant, I could not say like that, but I wasn't.
하니까
So I
내려가는 거예요.
talk about the principles, so we could start from the bottom. Atomy also always cherishes the absolute quality and absolute price. This
가지고요. 그러니까 우리
didn't come from the bottom.
뭐라고 뭐 내가 앉아가 어쩌고
The director Han Sang-gun was here and he talked about the
거기에 휘말리면은
Rygand. And if you are obsessed by this kind of difficult terms, you cannot negotiate the term. Of course, you can use the product. You might understand the quality and the function. You could see that the radiation technology, RT, nanotechnologies are being used in this product, and a lot of nanotechnologies and targeting, blah, 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 patent technologies are used. You could understand that, but at the end, you could decide whether to use it or not. But if you want to negotiate the price, you don't need to know that.
그걸 당신이 기계가 하지
Because I can say that
그리고 그 모터 움직이는데
you don't need to do that by yourself.
얼마 들어가는데
What you need is a machines. In order to run the machine, what we need is a motor and the electricity. This is how we could set the price. This is my approach.
소비자 조합이에요.
Since we are the global consumers, we need to make this kind of approach. Globally, we have 15 million members, and with this 15 million members,
물건을 가져올 거냐 하는 것을 여러분을 대표해서 제가 나서서 한단 말이에요.
I am leading all of these members, and as a representative, I need to negotiate the price.
여러분들이 공장 가가지고 내고 하려고 그러면
If you visit the factory and if you want to negotiate the price, you cannot, because
와 좋네 돈 많이 줘.
if someone try to explain something to me with the materials, I just reply, okay, it's good. It might take a lot of money, but after that, I try to see the basic costs and the basic principles. And like this, I could cherish the absolute quality and absolute price product.
잘될 수 있는 원리가 있어요 원리.
There is a basic principle of Atomy's success.
보통 많이 쓰죠.
We normally use the term principle.
그런데 원리가 뭐냐 이거예요 원리.
Then what is
원리.
principle?
애터미 사업이 잘될 수 있는 원리가
What's the principle of Atomy business? If you want to see whether it has a principle or not, you need to find it hard, and then you might get the confidence.
밖에 없는 원리가 여기
And you might understand that this business has to be
근데 그게 없으면은
done well. If you don't have this confidence, you might get lost.
원리라는 유통이 잘될 수 있는
In order to be successful in distribution, we need to follow this principle. First, it needs to be the daily necessity, and it should has good quality at a low cost.
무조건 잘 되게 돼 있어요.
And this product have no choice but to sold well. Let's say that cosmetic is one of the daily necessities, and
남자분들은 없어도 사는데 뭐
man
그런데
might answer, I can live without it. But for women, it's a daily necessity.
둘 중에 하나만 해 시간 없어 그러면
When they go out, when they need to choose makeup and food, they might choose on
중요한 것이
cos-
화장품이란 말이에요.
makeup. For them, sometimes makeup is better than the food. That's why we call it daily necessity. This daily necessity
그러면 전에도 썼을까요? 안 썼을까요?
has been used for the long period of time from the past.
클레오파트라도 썼대요.
Cleopatra also used it 1,000 years ago.
이제 이 생필품인데
So this is a daily necessity,
한상은 전무님
and it has great quality. And director Han Sang-gun also explained about it.
얼마 정도 해야 된다고 그래요?
One bottle supposed to be cost
900만 원. 한 병에.
million
그런데
won.
우리는 세트에
But now we sell it. We sell the 6 sets at 88,000 Korean won.
절대 품질인데
Actually, I must say this is nonsense. The quality is absolute, but the price is also absolute. No one else could make the product at this price.
같은 경우요.
Let's take an example of Hemohim.
목표가 뭐였냐면은
My goal
나와도 우리보다 싸게 못 만든다.
was to
그게 목표였어.
sell the product at a cheaper price of the fake product.
뭐 이게 나왔어.
The name was Hemo Mine or something.
네, 근데 저는 해모임 그 눈에 팍 보일까 안 보일까? 거기 천궁 당귀 백작약 들어갔대. 근데 문제는 뭐냐?
I recognize that that was the counterfeit of our product, but the product was 3 times expensive, more expensive than Hemohim. It was the counterfeit, but it was more expensive than that Hemohim.
그러다 보니까 한 몇 달 팔리더니 그 없어져 버렸어.
So that counterfeit product disappeared after a month. So I asked, oh, I cannot see Hemo Mine anymore. And the owner said, yes, at first it was sold well, but it isn't anymore. The reason is that although it was a counterfeit, it was more expensive than Hemohim.
짭퉁으로 만들더라도
So my goal is that I would like to sell Hemohim at a cheaper price than the counterfeit.
건강식품 뭐 봄가을로 한 번씩 먹는다고 그러는데 뭐 운지버섯, 상황버섯
There are a lot of good mushrooms and a lot of good herbal medicines, and you could get this kind of product at a discount store, and you could give this product to your parents because it seems fancy. But these products cost about 150,000 Korean won. So on average, this kind of health functional food cost about 150,000 Korean won per month. But now
엄청 진하게 만들어놨어.
we have the extract.
찰랑찰랑할 만큼 물을 많이 타놨어. 그러면은 박스 큰
So it is really concentrated extract, but the other product contain a lot of water. You know, in our house, we have enough water. We don't need to put water into that product. But now, we don't put any water into the product, and we have the concentrated extract, and the price is only 88,000 Korean won. And also, it has great quality with CIS articles about it. There are tens of articles in it. If it has only 2 articles, it is really great, but we have tens of articles in it. It also proven for its efficacy and for the fatigueness.
그래서 앞으로 뭐 이렇게 짜 먹는데
We use the sachet type
예를 들면은
of Hemohim.
바카스나 구론산처럼 맛있어서 먹는 그런 해모임도 한번 만들어 보세요.
And one of my goals is to develop a Hemohim with some flavor, as yummy as bacchus or other energy drinks. So for me, I think that if that product is fully developed, I might drink tens of bottles every day. Sometimes we drink bacchus, the energy drink, frequently because it tastes good. So that we are in the development process to develop that flavory Hemohim product.
어떤 식으로 받았냐면요. 지금은 이제 동물 실험 거의 안 하는데 우리 벌써 거의 20년 전이에요.
20 years ago, when we first started developing Hemohim product,
77만 원에 팔았어. 근데 뭐 한 달에 500박스밖에 못 팔았죠.
At the very early stage, they could only sell 500 boxes a month because they have another distribution channel. So back then, we did some animal testing.
주사기로 생쥐한테 해모임을 많이 먹여.
So to one mouth, we gave a lot of hemohim, and to the other mouth, we only feed water and other
수직으로 딱
beverage.
되어 있는
And in a cylinder, we put them in a cylinder with the water.
쥐는 헤엄을 안 치면 물에 빠져 죽을까요? 헤엄 안 쳐도 그냥 살 수 있을까요?
And
헤엄 안 치면 쥐는 물에 빠져 죽어요.
mouses will be drowned if they don't swim. So they swim like that in the cylinder, and they become really fatigued. After an hour and 2 hours,
아 죽겠다.
they might be drowned.
이 해모임을 안 먹은
So the mouse
다 죽어버렸어.
that didn't have hemohim died, but the mouse that had hemohim survived,
그러니까 무슨 얘기냐? 근육
which means that their muscle
필요도가 낮은 거예요. 물론
gets
계속 낮으면
fatigued
죽어요. 계속
later
낮으면
than
죽는데
the mouse that
집단보다 엄청
didn't have hemohim.
그러니까 여러분
So the mouse that
그러면은
was feeded hemohim survived longer than the mouse that was not feeded
도포만 먹으면
hemohim. So if you take 2 sachets of hemohim a day, you might feel the differences.
얼마 전까지만 해도
So let me tell you a truth.
사람들을 왜 이렇게 먹는 거야? 나잘
Recently, I didn't really understand why many people have hemohim, but now I'm getting aged, and now I could recognize and I could feel why many people want to have hemohim so frequently.
글을 쓰고 있어요.
These days I write
국민일보에 역경의
on
열매라고
Kookmin Daily newspaper,
대한민국 그
and I wrote about the path of agony because a lot of
장로님도 아마 글을
lot of
알고 있는데 하여간 그런 분들이 쓴 대야. 그래가지고
church elders wrote articles on that paper. Before the ex-president Lee Myung-bak also wrote on that paper. Anyways, I wrote this small article, but I need to do it every day.
할 얘기는 이만큼 많은데
I need to say a lot of things, but I got only this small part. So when I write down something long, I need to summarize into small piece. I need to stay up late until like 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. in the night. And
왜냐하면 일간신문이라는
it is a daily news, so I need to meet the ending. So the employee needed to wait for me, and he needs to correct some, and up until the night 3 a.m. at night I stayed awake. So now I feel dizzy.
해모임을
Whenever I feel like this, I need to take hemohim, and then I get refreshed. At this night I'm gonna have a lecture.
이제
Before I will do that lecture, I will take hemohim. So I think that I will have 4 to 6 sachets of hemohim today.
정량은 도포예요. 네. 여러분들
Normally, you can take 2 every day.
이렇게 먹으라는 얘기가 아니에요.
I'm not saying you have to take 4 or 6, and that's only for me.
왜냐하면은 대개는 이제 체중하고 관련이 있어요.
It's
저보다 뭐
you should think about your
안 되시는 분들을 이런 분들이 기준이야 원래는. 왜냐? 이건 뭐 대중 누구나 먹어야 되니까.
weight.
두포 그러면은 제일 몸무게 가볍고
We recommend those light fit people can have 2 sausage,
좀 둥시 있고 저보다 더 큰 사람을 기준으로
and
해보면은
that those
몸무게
bigger
반밖에
people
안 되는 분은 2배나 먹는 꼴이
can actually have more.
그래서 항상
So
기준은
we
제일 약하고
have the standard
몸무게
for
가벼운 사람을
the
기준으로 이제
lightest
차기 때문에
people.
이제 뭐 저는 조금 더 먹어도
And
기준
I can take more.
네, 문제가 없는 거죠.
It doesn't really matter.
그거는 식약청 방법이 아니고 내 방법이야.
That's actually my way, not the recommendation by the
그래서 이제 그렇게
Drug
딱
Safety
먹고
Agency.
나면은 이게 먹었을 때하고 안 먹었을 때
After having it, I can feel difference. especially in the morning.
어떻든 뭐 오늘은 저녁에 제 강의가 메인
Tonight,
강의고
I have the
지금은
lecture,
시간을 조금 줘가지고
and the lecture
얘기를 시작을 해야
for
돼. 지금
tonight
시작하다가 지금
is
말해야
the
될 것 같아. 뭐 마무리하라고
main one,
자꾸 또
and
아이고,
they
회장님
say
왜
I
그렇게
should wrap
써냐.
up. I am the chairman, but they say
뭔가
they are
마무리를 지금
saying
해야
me
되는데
to
지금
wrap
얘기가
up
어정쩡하잖아 지금.
because I was talking a lot, and I cannot really wrap up right now.
빨리 끝내라고. 예,
Okay,
마무리하겠습니다.
okay, I will wrap it up. Okay, thank you.